Okay. No, it's been a while. I've been busy somewhat. So here we are. We're back again. And here's the next installment on this car modeling tutorial. So, as we see, we left off here. We're working on the steering wheel. Now, I really want to get into this whole dashboard area. In this video, I'm hoping to really work on that. So, getting back to this, kind of want to work on some areas here. Try to make things a little easier. Okay, so with that out of the way, it's been a while. Okay, grab that group. So if I've never mentioned it before in a video, what I just did was press the F key. So anytime I'm like off from whatever I have selected, F key will snap the view to it. So that way you can, find it faster, what you actually have selected. So that works on not just the entire object, but also the faces or any vertices you have selected or edges. You can pretty much just snap your view to what it is you're looking at. And of course, I'm selecting the group because you want to move stuff individually and then try to line everything back up into place, which is why it's good that I have it in the group, and especially it's in the group here, even though it's on a, oops, even though it's on a layer here, because if I have more than one object in the layer, which I'm going to, because it's going to be an entire dashboard, so it's like dash B. I just want to make sure I'm selecting just the part that I'm actually controlling. So I'm just going to flip this up. So 90 x-axis. We'll always make sure your object's flipped upright, because we're dealing with positive and negatives, so it's always going to flip up towards the positive side of the z-axis when you're doing it in x. So even though x is left to right, flip it this way, going the z, which would be from back to forward, or if you depending on your camera view, top to bottom and top view. If you're on the side, then it would be from left to right, would be the z-axis, and then forward and backwards here. So so this front view is basically, if you go from left to right, is the x-axis. So rotate 90 degrees in x. And of course, it is facing the wrong way. So there's two ways of going about this. One is usually to negative scale it, but of course I'm doing the group and not the individual. So it's like if I go in and do the individual, I believe. Was it? No, sorry, wrong axis. Because it's rotated. Yeah, it's rotated, and I didn't freeze its transformations. So I'm gonna put it in negative of the y-axis. Normally, when you put in negative axis, it flips it. So y is top to bottom, but because I rotated the group and not the objects, because you see the transformations are still the same, but when I click on the group, the transformations are different, is because, you know, I'm rotating the objects individually. I mean, I'm rotating them as a group. So it's like if I wanted to flip it, just making those changes in the negative on its individual pieces will flip it backwards. So that way I don't have to sit here and take the group and then rotate it again and like 180, I think it was it. Yeah, you see 180 in the y-axis. So you have multiple ways of going about this. So it's like I could flip it any number of ways. So I'm going to select this group over here. I'm going to turn off the frame a bit. So now I'm just placing it about where it should be and rotate at that angle so that it matches up. And there we have our stairwell. So put back on the frame. And let's put on the front door. Yeah, you got your steering wheel. Now I just need to make sure it matches up from the top view, which it does. So, alright, placement is good. So now, next thing we need to work on is the actual dashboard, which is good when you have your reference images for this car. So, as you can see, there's like two pieces, one, two right here. Then this got this another piece for three, and you could have this bottom piece as a four. I mean, you can make them solid, a solid object to like make it all one piece or not. But I'm gonna do this in pieces. Probably might do two pieces for this part or one piece. All depends. Especially when I'm looking at like angles right here. I might want to do this at two pieces. So it all depends. Okay, so let's see this interior top panel. So you see the panel comes in right here and then goes across it. And if I look at the car frame, so I need to create a piece that goes across it from here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna just take this piece right here. So I clicked and following the path of the polygons, I held shift down and double clicked so that would select everything in between because it's pretty much matched up evenly. Even though this part is pinched right here, it's still, an even part. So now with that, I'm going to go over to my edit mesh, I believe, and duplicate it. And with that duplicated, I'm going to just go back to object mode. So as you can see, I have two polygons here, so I'm going to use the middle mouse button if you're using a mouse with a wheel on it, which is what you should be using when working with Maya. I'm using that to just drag it out of the group that was created. So I'm just going to Control C. I'm going to delete that group. Of course, uh, better yet, I'll just do it ungroup. So I can delete this. And of course, I need to rename this back because the naming convention came off. So this is back to car frame. And I have this one that I've pulled out of its group. So I could just go and also rename this. Inner top as well. So you want to make sure you name everything so you know what it is that you're selecting. Of course, so now I'm gonna name this dash top. One, so this will just be the top of the dashboard. Yeah. So come back to my reference images. Yeah, I don't have to worry about a whole lot of detailness. I mean, yeah, there's the dip right there. There's some parts right here. But I'll do those after, and this is the very top that extends to the doorway, so I'll put back on the front door. Yeah. So yeah, I need to tweak this doorway some more so that everything matches up. I think part of the car frame covers this, but still I need to match up with the inside. Yeah, Definitely gotta tweak the inside. I'm gonna censor its pivot so that I know where the transformation controls are for it. So I can like move it out from where it was originally. Okay, I'm gonna try to start matching things up. So I'm holding the V key down and just using with the move tool selected, which is W. You know, you want to make sure you know your shortcuts for these tools. So I'm using the move tool and just selecting the parts and like just trying to match them up. Here, so let me move this from a top view and try to kind of like balance it out a bit. Okay. Let's see. I'll just so yeah. So you can even see it like the vent that's right here in the reflection. Okay, so I'm thinking I need to make this part thick. And so this first part, based on this edge, is going to snap here. Then there's another point here where you can see the sharp edges. So I'm going to extrude this edge. We'll just move that forward. here and then press the G key to repeat the action I just did for extrusion and bring it forward again. Back to my reference. So yeah. So this piece, I'm actually going to snap this up to that part. So definitely need to tweak the interior, the exterior of the car so that it matches up. So while you're on like a component selected, if you usually click on another piece, it'll keep that mode going, so I don't have to keep selecting vertices for each object or vertex mode. So it's like just try to match everything up here. Wait, just select that as a group, move that up, and then go in and snap it. So as a whole, this group, or I should say this set of edges will match up just the way I need it to. Okay. So yeah, I'm constantly checking reference images, so now I just need to extrude it down. So making sure that I don't select the whole thing, doing the same thing before, select edge, select this other edge. There's nothing interrupting them in between. It's a solid piece across. And then I just extrude. Now for this piece, it does curve back a bit, so I just need to push it back. Well, yeah, just need to push the inner parts back, not really the whole thing. Also, not probably, but I am going to extrude this part over. So, first, let me select all this. I'm gonna push it back a little. And I'm gonna take this part, pressing the G key as a quick select for the extrusion, so I don't have to go up there and click the button. Now I'm gonna push this back, of course. I'm gonna move it over again. Push it back. And yeah. Okay, I'm liking the way that looks a bit. So now I just need to focus on this part. So I need to select this edge. So select it. Of course, I'm going to select this part and move it over just to help with that curved that has. I'm just gonna pull it down a bit, just a little bit, and back. Okay. So with this top part created, then I can like take these faces if I want to and extrude them down for this part right here. And of course I have like a corner piece because you can't see it too well to create some stuff for right here. Like, you know, you can see this little line curve. Yeah, I could do that in there. But for the most part, I have what I need for this. So now this is one big piece that's slightly different than the rest. So I'm not going to extrude it from this. I'm just going to create it. But now with everything else lined up, I can get rid of all the other stuff. And of course I can go in and tweak it. So I'll just select this while holding shift, and now I'm holding control and deselecting everything else that I don't need. You know, just casually moving it up. Now, of course, the inner part is not as thick as it should be, so I can work on that a bit and fix that so that it matches up with the inside here. Don't want to pull it too much. Yeah. Wrong pieces. Of course. Just move this over for now. Because what I should do is add another edge loop to help smooth this part out. But my main focus today is just going to be really, well, not today, but for this part, it's just really going to be this dash area. So, as you can see. The frame. Yeah, I can push this out more. And of course, right now it looks really boxy. But also, the car door I know doesn't have its proper thickness, so it's like I need to fix this area, but for now. Yeah, I'm gonna need to label this. Front underscore image plane. So I'm gonna take off the frame. Yeah, it's matching up as far as that part goes. Almost. See, I just need to work on the thickness of this inner part. But for now, we're just going to go back to the dashboard. Okay, so now next part. Create a cube. And it's good to have this plans for it because now I can see that it's a bit curved. Doesn't match up right there, but that's like the bottom area. So now using R or going over and pressing your scale tool, especially when you highlight it, you can see like in the corner right here, the shortcut, the R key. Yeah. E, rotate. Yeah, you want to make sure, See, this is the last tool used, which is G, but it doesn't tell you here, which is weird. So going back to my move tool, I'm just going to make sure I centered it in the x-axis properly so that it's even on both sides. So okay, that's coming along. So now, like, should have did, I think the depth, oh, sorry, depth division. Oh, yeah, I could use that. What's it? I believe it's width. Yeah. So it's like after I've already scaled it, like when you start making changes to it, it kind of becomes harder to work with the actual default properties of it to change it. So I mean, as you can see, when I did this, it kind of just tries to bring it back to its original root. Uh, okay, now that I have this piece in here, it makes it clear that this part. So I'm just gonna move this out the way. This part is actually up here, which is hard to tell from this image. So I don't know why, for some reason I was following this part. It's actually this part I need to be working on, so it's helpful to, you know, just double check some of the stuff. So now I realize that this is here. This is going to be another piece that when I mirror it over is going to be slightly different. So I'll put the front door on. Yeah, maybe my car isn't going to match up completely, as I can already tell from it. Like I mentioned before, I do need to fix parts of the door. So actually I need to move this part of the door back so that matches up, because especially from the inside, pretty much the edge of that, which would be right here. So if this is a solid piece, it would be right here. So yeah, this is like about this part. So I can even push it up a bit more and bring this part back a little. So yeah, I can even bring it up a bit more to like as close as possible to match with like the way this part is here. Of course, the door is tilted at an angle, so it's like, you gotta compensate for right here, because it's going to end over here. Okay, so now, I mean, what I could also do is mirror it over. So here's mirror geometry, negative x, merge it at the center. And go in and just tweak its vertices. So I can even press the 4 key if I need to. But I'll just tweak the top and then tweak the bottom afterwards. So of course, looking in deeper, I noticed these two parts aren't merged, so I can merge them to center. Yeah, I just pressed the 3 key to put into smooth preview at times just to check on some areas to make sure. So now back to this part, which is gonna be right here. Okay, so now I'll work on it in halves. Just so yeah, it kind of fits right in. Yeah, just about. Now yeah, I am going to do this top part separate, so first things first, I don't need it. Those faces, and for these faces. Let me just double check. Oh, I could edit this part first so that it matches up. So yeah, I need to lift it. So let's see. Gonna put yeah, this should be a good base. Move this forward a bit so that matching up and line it up. This can come back. So now I'll need one tray here and one tray here. I'll wait before I add more pieces. So these parts come here. Of course, that's just the cover, so I need to raise it up more over here. So I'm going in and just tweaking some of the vertex so that looks like it's in place over here. I'm gonna even split it across to help a bit. Okay. Try to even it out a bit. So I'm pushing this back in. You see I already got like this hood area created. Just gonna use some more edges to refine it a bit more. Okay. Minutes in. So now, I'm gonna do is select these parts. Then I'm gonna hold Shift and the arrow key, which is greater than, I guess, sign. The key next to the question mark on your keyboard to grow my selection. But instead of duplicating it, I'm just gonna use the mesh tools to extract it. So now it's its own separate piece from this part. And I'm going to divide this up a bit. Because I need this part to come forward and become that smooth, thick edge around. And not only that, but I'll have to put another part right here. I was thinking that might happen. Okay, so we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. So try to compare it a bit. So of course don't have the exact camera and lens and angles, but try to look at it a little closer. Let's turn on this front panel. So you can't really tell from there. Or here. But you can definitely check from there that this panel across from here, as well as what you can see from the top view for this part right here, definitely comes across. So I could put that line in there and just move it out. So with that, I'm going to use the multi-cut tool and just bring this across here. So I can delete this component. So I have 1, 2, 3. So there's 5 sides. So I need to do the same for this side. basically I'm just trying to even it out a bit. So for this part, I'm probably just gonna extrude in here. So let's hide this steering wheel. Select these faces. Yeah, pretty much have enough. Did it. Extrude. Now I'm going to click on the box, which is the scale of the extrude. And allows you to extrude in. So since there's some depth to it, I'm going to, now I've scaled in, I'm going to extrude it again and push back. So yeah, that should be enough. Especially some of these parts sticking out, I can extrude those up. So now I just need to even it out. So right now, with those parts selected, I'm going to use the scale tool, bring them together a bit, and move them up. So I might scale it back a little bit more. And of course, it kind of matches the arc a bit. So yeah, I can always add more if I need to. Oops, undo. So yeah, it's a work in progress. Definitely need to bridge it across here. Gonna select some of these verts and scale them out a bit. So I can even bring that down. Insert another edge loop here. I'll bring that across. course, this is a slight bump up here, which is what I was creating right here. Oops, undo. So yeah, definitely gotta work this area. Hold on. Yeah, I could do that. Insert an edge loop here. Oh. I finally realized what this line might actually be the inside of the car. Is what so this part right here. I'll tweak it a bit. Uh, but definitely for the most part, I need to. So as you can see, as you work on it, you start to find more and more parts to fix. You can even go in and mess around with the tool. Oh, where is this tool? Yeah, scope geometry. I keep forgetting they moved the tool out, so I guess I can try to smooth some of this out. a bit. So yeah, I got to fix that area. Especially, you know, making sure it matches up for like when I open the car door. It's definitely coming along. So first things first, let me just save. Now you always want to save, and then